So as you know, I'm trying to add new things as I learn and as we work together. And one of the things I do with my teachers is to do reflections after class. So what I have here next to this place, I have my journal, a pen, and I have crayons. So last week, what I did after class, I sat down and I did this. Maybe you can't see. It doesn't really matter. So at the top I wrote January 24th. Right here is a good place to start. That was kind of the theme for last week. And then the two concepts that we worked with was doing things later or doing things now. And then I wrote later. And then when I do things later, I feel small, vulnerable, afraid. Others are shadows of anger, jealousy, hate. And then the colors I used were brown, black, and gray. And then I just draw a little picture. When I do things now, I feel excited, colorful, jumping, happy, talking, laughing. Others are delighted, surprised, patient, and curious. And the colors I used were red, green, yellow, light blue, in between blue. So that's, and I am just learning things about myself as I'm doing this. And I'll do the same thing today after class. I'll take whatever concept we are working with and I write a few words and draw some pictures. So if you want to, you can do the same thing. Okay. Now I'm reading from Pema Chodron. We are also using Pema Chodron's book, Start Where You Are, in the reading room starting next week. We're having a meeting today, but we're going to start that book next week. Okay, a more adventurous way to live. There's a common misunderstanding among all the human beings who have ever been born on the earth that the best way to live is to try to avoid pain and just try to get comfortable. You can see this even in insects and animals and birds. All of us are the same. A much more interesting, kind, adventurous, and joyful approach to life is to begin to develop our curiosity, not caring whether the object of our inquisitiveness is bitter or sweet. To lead a life that goes beyond pettiness and prejudice, and always wanting to make sure that everything turns out on our own terms. To lead a more passionate, full, and delightful life than that, we must realize that we can endure a lot of pain and pleasure for the sake of finding out who we are and what this world is, how we tick, and how our world ticks, how the whole thing just is. Okay, so here we go. So what did I hear? So I'm hearing that the tendency is that we are choosing pleasure over pain. And what she is suggesting is for us to accept both pleasure and pain and stay with curiosity. The two concepts that I hear is acceptance versus control. So when I want to control things, I want to control things so they turn out pleasurable instead of painful. What I'm hearing from Pema is that she's inviting me to accept both pain and pleasure and use that to learn about who I am and what this world is about. So I'm suggesting that we are playing with the two concepts, acceptance and control today. And you can do what I'm doing, or you can find something else that works better for you. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Finding your seat, sitting up tall. You can look at your feet, move the heels, move the toes. Notice the physical connection to earth. Starting to get the mind into this space and into this body and this moment. And then come to stillness. Bring awareness to two sitting bones. Maybe transfer the weight from one side to the other. You can think about pain and pleasure. That's a basic practice, just to realize there is pain and pleasure. And what Pema is inviting us to do is to accept both pain and pleasure as valuable ways of learning who we are. So instead of controlling things, accepting. So maybe go from control to acceptance. Control, acceptance. And then coming to stillness. Maybe use your fingers to gently touch at the crown of your head. Noticing that if I want to grow, I have to push my feet into earth. I have to have a secure connection to earth, push into earth. And that way I can reach up higher and grow spiritually. Often a slight tuck of the chin helps. You can keep your eyes open or closed. Neck is long, shoulders are wide. And maybe just breathe in and out through your nose. If you want to, you can notice what part of your body is moving as you're breathing. And then if you want to, you can place one hand on your belly and the other one on your back. And then now we can manipulate the breathing. Inhale into your belly and notice how your hand is expanding. So inhale into your hand on your belly. Exhale, release. Inhale into your hand on your belly. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale into your hand on your belly. Exhale, release. So that is fairly easy to do because the belly is soft. Now let's try to inhale into the hand on your back. That's a little trickier because there are muscles and bones and stuff in our back. So inhale into the hand on your back. Exhale, release. Inhale into your hand on your back. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale into your hand on your back. Exhale, release. And then release all. Now place your hands on your knees and then starting the cat-cow movement. Waking up the physical and the spiritual spine. And then allow the breath body to work with your physical body. So when do you inhale and when do you exhale? And is what you're doing helpful? If it is, you continue doing what you're doing. If it's not helpful, you try something else. And then come back to neutral. And then look at your hands. Look at your hands. Blinking, bubbling stars. Blinking, bubbling stars. All the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then start to reaching. And maybe start with playing with the idea that both pain and pleasure are helpful. Both pain and pleasure are helpful, and we want both because we can learn, or we need both to learn. So I'm reaching for pleasure and pain, pleasure and pain. And then reach, turn, open up the arms, look behind you. And then release. Lift the shoulders a few times. And then look at your hands again, blinking, bubbling stars. You and me and everyone else could be blinking, bubbling stars. All the way up, clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then reach and reach and reach. Reach for pain and pleasure. Pain and pleasure. And then turn, open up the arms, look behind you, and maybe think about how did pain help you in the past? How did pain help you in the past? And then release, lift the shoulders a few times. And then bring the arms to cactus. And then maybe play with the two other concepts, so acceptance and control. So there's a part of us that wants to control things, and there's another part of us that can accept things the way they are. So control, acceptance, control, acceptance. And what I'm hearing from Pema Chodron is that she is inviting us to accept more than control. So maybe swim in the river of acceptance. And then swim backwards. So if I'm controlling, I'm swimming backwards. If I'm trying to control the situation, I'm swimming backwards. That's the idea, right or wrong. And then release. Okay, knee meets elbow. And maybe play with the concepts of pain and pleasure. So what if pain and pleasure got to meet? What if pain and pleasure got to meet? What would happen? And then crossing the midline. And then allow pain and pleasure to stay connected. So maybe pain and pleasure just opposite sides of the same thing. Allow pain and pleasure to stay connected. And then try the other side. Pain and pleasure stay connected. And then let's cross the midline. Maybe play with acceptance and control. Acceptance and control. And release and try the other side. Acceptance and control. Acceptance and control. And release. Okay. With a wide and stable stance, we can explore more without falling. So create a wide and stable stance. You have the 2 sitting bones and the 2 feet planted into earth. And then maybe play with the idea of that both pain and pleasure are valuable in learning who we are and what this world is. And maybe play with the idea that both pain and pleasure are valuable. So there's no reason to avoid pleasure, and there is no reason to avoid pain. Let's play with that idea. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree later. We don't have to agree with Pema Chodron. We don't have to like her. We can still learn something. We can learn from people we don't like or that we don't agree with. Okay, so stay with that wide and stable stance. Now look at your hands. Now start with the image of control. The image of control. So when I feel the need to control, what does that look like? So I'm going to take some paint and I'm going to draw the image of control. What does control look like? When I feel the need to control, what's going on? And then release. And then move into acceptance. So when I accept something for what it is, what is going on? What is the color? What does that image look like? So acceptance. When I accept things the way they are, what does that image look like? And release. Okay, now let's jump the feet together. So jump the feet together into Tadasana feet. And now we're going to write the story. So open up the toes, dip the toes in ink, and write the story. Write the story of control. What are the words that are coming up? What's the story that when you feel the need to control? What's the story? Write the story. And then step out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together, breathe. And then release one hand down, then the other, let the head go heavy. Inhale, come back up, and then place the foot on the knee. Use your fingers to open up the toes. Open up the toes. Gently guide that right knee out to the side. Seated pigeon. Seated pigeon. And then slide the knees together. Whatever leg is on top, that arm goes under. Give yourself a hug. And remind yourself how much you love yourself and how compassionate you are about yourself and your ways of practicing life. And then find your way to eagle. Now, when you feel the need to control, what does that eagle look like? How does it feel? What does it look like? Watch that eagle. And then allow that eagle to fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away. And then look at your left toes. Open up the toes, dip them in ink, and write the story of acceptance. Write the story of acceptance. So how do you feel, and what does the world look like when you accept the world as it is? Write the story of acceptance. And then step out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together, breathe. Place one hand on the floor, the left hand on the floor, the right hand on the right knee. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, look up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, push into both hands to come a little deeper into the twist. Maybe gaining a little bit more understanding of what Pema Chodron is talking about, that accepting both pain and pleasure are valuable. And then release down. Come back up. The right hand on the floor, left hand on the left knee. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, look up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, push into both hands. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Gaining a little bit more understanding that pain and pleasure can be valuable. And then release down. Inhale, come back up. Left foot on the right knee. Use your fingers to open up the toes. Open up the toes. And then gently guide that left knee out, seated pigeon. And then release, slide the knees together, whatever leg is on top, that arm goes under, give yourself a hug. Give yourself a lot of credit for continuing practicing. And then find your way to your eagle. And maybe this time, notice when your eagle is in acceptance, when you accept things the way they are, what does your eagle look like? How does it feel? What does it look like? Observe the eagle in you that is ready to accept. And then allow that eagle to fly away, fly away, fly away, and then land on top of the next mountain. Okay, let's have a wide and stable stance again. Blinking, bubbling stars all the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over, breathe. Now this time, imagine yourself as a big, strong, accepting, wise eagle, and then allow your wings to go up high and wide, and then go out flying. Go out flying, observing the world just as it is. Go out flying. You can go anywhere you want, anywhere you want. With a wide and stable stance, you can go far, you can go near. And then inhale, let the arms come up. Exhale, dive deep. Inhale, come up. Exhale, dive deep. One more time, inhale, come up. And this time, exhale, dive deep. Then bring the arms behind you, holding on to opposite forearms. You can keep your eyes open or closed. And then release one arm. Bring it all the way up. Place the hand on your heart, the back of your heart. Release the other hand. Bring it all the way up and place that one on top of the other hand. Healing your own heart. Healing your own heart from all the stories from the past. Healing your past. And then release. Okay, now we need some strength to take skillful action. So we're going to build some strength in our legs. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to come up to standing. I'm going to pick number 10. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Check it out. Big breath in. Exhale. I'm going to pick the same number. I'm just going to make it a little harder now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release. Check it out. Big breath in. Exhale. And come up to standing. All right, breath of joy. So it's 3 inhales and 1 big exhale. Starting here. Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale. And release. Okay, let the arms go. And then bend the knees. Move around. And then eventually letting pain and pleasure meet. Letting pain and pleasure meet. And maybe control and acceptance. Control and acceptance. And then finding position of power. Position of power. Find your solar plexus. Inhale into solar plexus. Exhale out through legs, arms, head, and tail. Inhale into solar plexus. Exhale out through legs, arms, head, and tail. Okay, inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale in. Exhale out. And stay there. And release. Okay, now lifting the legs out to the side, engaging the external hips, external support. So you are my external support and maybe I'm yours. And then lean and lift, lean and lift. Breathe. This is a balancing posture, stressful for the body. And then lean and lift, lean and lift. And when we are calm and confident, we can take skillful action. When we're calm and confident, we can take skillful action. Okay, now we're going to push away control and allow acceptance to take its place. So imagine control, give it a color, shape, form, and then push it away. Push it away, push it away, push it away. The need to control. And it's going to be so hard to resist, and you're going to give in. You're going to give in, and that's okay. And then you're going to find your strength again from solar plexus and push it away again. And then it's going to be too strong as you're going to give in, and that's okay. Find your power, push it away, maybe kick it away, maybe kick it away. And it's going to try to sneak in from anywhere and everywhere. And eventually you are going to succeed. You can release and allow acceptance to come in. Allow acceptance to come in. Okay, and let's celebrate that with 3 sound salutations. You can use the chair or no chair. That's up to you. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, down the midline. That was 1. 2 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, down the midline. Last time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, down the midline, holding your own heart in between your hands with love and compassion. And release. Okay, now big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. So starting in Tadasana, mountain posture, feeling the strength and the stability. And we're going to step back to warrior 1. Okay, inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off. Take a big step back, find the earth behind you with the toes and your heel. The left hip moves back and the right hip moves forward. When you have a wide and stable stance, that's when you take the hands off and come up. Blinking, bubbling stars, clasp the hands. Release into your back pockets. And then transfer the weight forward, finding warrior 3. Maybe one hand off, maybe both, maybe out in airplane. And then slowly coming back to Tadasana. Okay, inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back, find the earth behind you with the toes and then the heel. When you have a wide and stable stance, that's when you take your hands off. Blinking, bubbling stars. Release the hands into your back pockets. Transfer the weight forward, moving in towards warrior 3. Take the opposite hand off. Same hand off, maybe airplane. And then bend elbows and knees, finding your way back to Tadasana. Okay, this time we're going to step back to warrior 2. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, right comes off. Take a big step back. This time, open up the pelvic half. Open up the pelvic half, allowing more emotions to come in. One arm in the past, the other one in the future. And you are right here in the present moment. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior. Come back to warrior 2. Place the hand on the chair or the elbow to knee, and the back hand moves forward. Moving back to warrior 2. Hands on your hips, straighten the front knee. Release the hand down and maybe to the chair. Slowly bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then allow the hand to come up. Trikonasana. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, finding your way back to warrior 2 one more time. Now, with both hands on your chair, you can pick up the back foot. And then same hand might come off. Ardha Chandrasana. If you feel very balanced, you can start looking at your back toes. And then gaze comes down, hand comes down, feet together, bend the knees, and back up to a stable mountain posture. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back, open up the pelvic half. Finding warrior 2. One arm in the past, the other one in the future, and you are right here in the present moment. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior. Come back to warrior 2. Place the elbow to knee or hand on the chair. That's your choice. Back hand moves forward. Extended side angle. If you want to, you can look at the back foot. And then finding your way back to warrior 2. Hands on your hips, straighten that front knee. Release the hand down, maybe to the chair. That hip moves back. From here, slowly bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. Maybe let the arm follow. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, rebend that front knee, finding warrior two one more time. Hands on the chair, pick up that back foot. Maybe let the same hand come off for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon posture. If you feel very stable, you can start looking at your back toes. I find that very difficult, but maybe you think it's easy. Gaze comes down, hand comes down, feet together, bend the knees, and back up to a stable mountain posture. Okay. Let's meet at the top of the mountain. Let's meet at the top of the mountain. Drop the seed. Watch the roots grow wide and deep, wide and deep. Transfer the weight to the left, the right heel comes off. And then allow your tree to grow. Allow your tree to grow. What does it look like? Is it a flower? Is it a shrub? Is it an oak tree? Is it wide? Is it tall? Small? You decide. You decide. And then find your way back to the mountain. Drop another seed. Watch the roots grow wide and deep. Transfer the weight to the right. Left heel comes off. And then allow another tree to grow. Or maybe it's a flower. Maybe it's a rose shrub. Maybe it's a ground cover. You can grow anything you like. Anything you like. And then eventually finding your way back to the top of the mountain. Okay, this time let's have feet hip distance apart. Spread the toes. And then release the knees down to open up the toes. If you want to, you can sit back on your toes. Come back up. Look at your thumb. Maybe paint the color of pain. Big circle. Give the heel a dot. Poof. And then maybe pick the color of pleasure. A big circle. Give your heel a little dot. And then let's play with control and acceptance. Control and acceptance. Two big circles. And then place your hands in your back pockets. Release, untuck the toes, bring the knees wide, big toes to touch, and then hips to heels, finding child's posture for a few moments. Inhale, come back up. Clasp the hands. Create that external support of three corners, or actually it's four corners kind of. Tuck the toes. Lean into the support you just built. Pick the knees up. Walk your feet. Elbows, armpits are moving towards your legs for dolphin posture. Let the head be heavy. And then bend the knees and come back up to standing. All right. Now, let's move on to the seated meditation. So we have prepared the body. And now we're going to move on to the seated meditation. Okay, let's see what Pema said. A more adventurous way to live. There's a common misunderstanding among all the human beings who have ever been born on the earth that the best way to live is to try to avoid pain and just try to get comfortable. You can see this even in insects and animals and birds. All of us are the same. A much more interesting, kind, adventurous, and joyful approach to life is to begin to develop our curiosity, not caring whether the object of our inquisitiveness is bitter or sweet. To lead a life that goes beyond pettiness and prejudice, and always wanting to make sure that everything turns out on our own terms. To lead a more passionate, full, and delightful life than that, we must realize that we can endure a lot of pain and pleasure for the sake of finding out who we are and what this world is, how we tick, and how our world ticks, how the whole thing just is. Okay, so now I'm going to be quiet for about 9 minutes. So here we go, finding your seat, sitting up tall. You can have your eyes open or closed and bring your awareness to your breathing. And then I'm going to be quiet for about 9 minutes. Here we go. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your head from side to side. Take a deep breath in, release. If you want to, bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, holding your own heart in between your hands with self-love and self-compassion. Maybe bowing gratitude for this practice, thousands of years old. Thank your inner guide, your past, present, and future teachers, and all the people that are joining you on this journey. Open your eyes, raise your gaze, and thank you so much for practicing together this morning. Namaste.